What's up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny 2. We are back with a This Week in Destiny, taking a look at everything that you can expect for the up and coming week. So if you want to find out more about the Dares of Eternity loot, the up and coming Nightfall for this week and the double rewards, as well as all the rest of the ritual activities and what Tess has available for Bright Dust this week, then be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below, and remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. Just over 70% of the viewers on the channel aren't currently subscribed, so make sure to hit that red button and ring that bell to make sure you don't miss an update. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now before we jump into the meat of today's video, we are currently live right now over on twitch.tv/Jarvenus. We're going to be streaming multiple times per week over on Twitch as well as all the video content right here on YouTube. So make sure to head over to Twitch and drop us a follow. All the details are found down in the video description below. So another week and another This Week in Destiny. This week is week 22 of Season of the Lost, and we have little over 6 weeks until the Witch Queen on the 22nd of February. Now to kick us off this week, we have some new loot over in Dares of Eternity. Now the loot tables for Dares of Eternity rotates on a weekly basis, rotating between faction loot, the general world loot pool, and also any Seraph and Arrival weapons. This week sees the return of all the faction weapons and armor. Now these can drop from legendary engrams during the activity, as well as upon activity completion. Now there are 3 armor sets available as part of the loot pool this week. It comes in the form of the Anti-Extinction set, the Sovereign set from the New Monarchy, as well as the Simulator set from the Future War Cult. Now as for the weapons this week, we have Enigma's Draw, Dire Promise, the True Prophecy, Timeline's Vortex, Honor's Edge, the Interference Grenade Launcher, Distant Tumulus, Arsenic Bite, Gian 7, as well as the Escape Velocity. Now there are some really good weapons as part of the faction loot pool, and this loot pool is one of the smallest in the Dares of Eternity rotation. So if you want to get your hands on a great Dire Promise or an even better True Prophecy, then make sure to jump into the Dares of Eternity this week. Now moving over to the Vault of Glass, we have a new raid challenge. It comes in the form of the Oracles challenge, and this is called the Only Oracle for You. Now to complete this challenge, players cannot destroy the same Oracle more than once. So with that in mind, you'll need to move around the arena and communicate with your fire team well to ensure you can get that challenge done. Now if you can complete this on the master difficulty, you'll get access to the time loss weapon as well as an extra raid chest. Now the time loss weapon for this week is the Praedif's Revenge sniper rifle. Now all time loss weapons come with additional perks in the second and third column, with the Praedif's Revenge guaranteed to have Feeding Frenzy and Firefly. It's pretty much the god roll straight off the bat, so if you haven't got your hands on the time loss version of the Praedif's Revenge, this week will be the week to jump into the Vault of Glass. Now as for the rest of the weekly rituals, we have a new legendary Shattered Realm. This week's Shattered Realm can be found over in the Forest of Echoes, so once again if you haven't got the anchors and mysteries from this particular Shattered Realm, we made a guide specifically for this one. So if you're still chasing those down for your Realm Walker Seal, make sure to check out that guide, and I'll leave the link to that down in the video description below. Now moving on to the Crucible, we have a brand new Crucible rotator this week. It comes in the form of Mayhem, so if you enjoy some mindless fun after the sweaty Iron Banner we just had after the previous week, then be sure to jump into Mayhem for something different this week. Now moving over to the Nightfall, we have a new Nightfall for week 22 in Season of the Lost. Now it comes in the form of the Corrupted Strike, and with that we get new Nightfall exclusive weapons too. Now if you complete the normal version of the Nightfall, you'll get access to these weapons, and if you can complete the Nightfall on Grandmaster difficulty, you'll be able to get your hands on the Adept versions of those weapons. Now each and every week we have 2 weapons in rotation. Now one of those weapons this week comes in the form of the Hothead rocket launcher. Now early impressions of this weapon wasn't good when it was first introduced, but after a few updates to some of the perks available on this weapon, such as Explosive Light for example, this is one of the best arc rocket launchers available in Destiny 2. But with that in mind, if you're still finding it difficult to take off your Gjallarhorn after earning it from the Grasp of Avarice, then the Hung Jury is also in rotation this week. The Hung Jury is up there with one of the best scout rifles in the game, and with scout rifles being the anti-barrier weapon for Season 16 upon the launch of the Witch Queen, now is most definitely the time to make sure you've got a god roll Hung Jury in your arsenal. And better still, with both of those weapons available this week, whilst it is the Corrupted, we have double Nightfall rewards all week long. It's the perfect opportunity to get god rolls on these weapons, so make sure to get those fire teams together and jump into the Corrupted upon this week's weekly reset. Now if we head on over to Europa, we have a new Eclipse Zone for week 22. It comes over in a Staring Abyss, so if you're still seeking out your augments way back from Beyond Light, then you'll need to head over there to find your target. Now as for the Empire Hunt, this week's Empire Hunt is the Warrior. Now the Empire Hunt is a great source for pinnacle loot, but first make sure you fully upgraded the Sabotage quests over at Variks on Europa 2. The same can be said for the Exo Challenge. This week's challenge is the Simulation Agility, one of the easier ones in the rotation, and much like the Empire Hunt, if your Sabotage quests are fully upgraded, this is also an excellent source of pinnacle loot. Now moving on to the Lost Sectors for Tuesday the 18th of January only. Now the Legend Lost Sector can be found over on the Moon upon this week's weekly reset, and it can be found over in K1 Logistics. Now this Lost Sector will be granting exotic gauntlets, so if you're chasing down an Icefall Mantle, some new backup plans, the Necrotic Grips, or even some Nothing Manacles, then make sure to head over to the Moon upon this week's weekly reset. But if you're looking for the Master Lost Sector, then you'll need to head over to the Tangled Shore. This can be found over in the Empty Tank, and this will be offering exotic boots. So if you can complete this, you'll have another chance to get your hands on some more Star Eater scales, some Radiant Dance machines, or even some Boots of the Assembler. It's a great opportunity to get some of those exotics that may be missing from your collection, so make sure to head over to those two Lost Sectors upon this week's weekly reset. Now with all the weekly rituals out the way, it's time for one of the most important parts of the week, and that's what Tess has available for Bright Dust in week 22 of Season of the Lost. Now over in the Bright Dust featured section, we have the B-Ball Hero, a new exotic emote that was introduced as part of the 30th anniversary pack. This was originally available for 1,000 silver, but can be picked up this week for 3,250 Bright Dust. Alongside that, we have a rare emote called Oh Hello. This was introduced as part of Season 15 and can be picked up this week for 400 Bright Dust. Next, we have the Cellular Division. This is a transmat effect that was also introduced as part of the 30th anniversary pack. So if you're in the process of collecting these, this will set you back 450 Bright Dust. Next up, we have the Burnished Reed, a legendary shader introduced with the 30th anniversary pack as well. Once again, if you're collecting these and like the look of the shader that you can see here on my Warlock, then make sure to pick this one up, and this will set you back 300 Bright Dust this week. Now over in the main Bright Dust store, we have the I Like That. This is a legendary emote as well. This was also introduced as part of the 30th anniversary pack. So if you like what you see and the good vibes that it provides, then make sure to pick this up for 700 Bright Dust. Alongside that, we have the Magnetic Attitude, another legendary emote, which was also introduced as part of the 30th anniversary pack. So once again, if you like what you see, then make sure to pick it up, and this will set you back 700 Bright Dust this time around. Alongside that, we have the Almost Mighty Shell. This was an exotic ghost shell that was introduced in Season of the Worthy. So if you missed out on this, then you can add this to your collection, and this will set you back 2,850 Bright Dust. This is alongside the Atlas Hauler, an exotic ship that was introduced as part of Season of the Hunt. Now this is actually one of my favourite ships and can be picked up this week for 2,000 Bright Dust. That's alongside the Viper 4S, an exotic sparrow that was introduced in Season of the Hunt. So if you missed out on it back then but need it for your Vice cosmetic sets, then be sure to pick it up this week for 2,500 Bright Dust. The penultimate item on offer is the Red Legion Ghost Projection. This was introduced also in Season 9 and can be picked up this week for 1,500 Bright Dust. And the final item on offer is the Dead Man's Revenge, a brand new exotic weapon ornament for the Dead Man's Tales Scout Rifle. This was originally available for 700 silver, but you can pick it up this week for 1,250 Bright Dust. So there we have it, a good look at everything that you can expect for week 22 in Season of the Lost. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of the two videos you see here in these cards for more Destiny 2 content. And if you want to keep up to date with everything to do with Destiny 2, be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always, guys, and I will catch you all again very soon.